So the PIXAR'S franchise has finally found a home at Walt Disney World, with Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy opening yesterday at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So let's dive into all of that up next. Hi there Waltoneers, I'm Jack and this is of course DSNY Newscast. So no, this isn't an April Fool's joke. We're actually releasing a DSNY Newscast on a Monday instead of a Tuesday, as we had so much released over the weekend. I thought I'd bump up the video slightly earlier and get through it today instead. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. As over the last 4 years, Disney's Hollywood Studios has been undergoing a multi-year transformation, with the additions of Toy Story Land that opened last year, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which will most likely open ahead of schedule, and of course Star Wars Galaxy's Edge that officially opens on August 29th, 2019. But today we're going to be talking about the arrival of a permanent Cars presence at Walt Disney World, as Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy opened yesterday at the Sunset Showcase Theatre, which is this building and courtyard here that is accessed through the Rock and Roller Coaster area. Now the Cars courtyard section has received quite a bit of theming, so that there's some new Instagram walls and photo opportunities outside, with a chance to meet the Piston Cup champion herself, Cruz Ramirez. Whilst at multiple times throughout the day, DJ will host DJ's Ready Set Party Time, that is kind of like a dance party mixed with some Cars themed games, a little bit like what we saw with the Incredibles themed offerings in Tomorrowland last summer, and now over in the new Munissaburg area within Disney's Hollywood Studios. But that's just the outside of this attraction, so let's dive into the actual experience itself. As first of all, let's talk about the theatre environment, as it features a 200-foot wide, 2-story tall wraparound screen that really envelops the audience into the racing experience. But the really big thing here is the almost true to animation audio animatronic Lightning McQueen that sits upon a turntable platform, as Walt Disney Imagineering have really done a great job with the blending of the animation of the mouth and eyes through advanced internal projection mapping to really bring Lightning McQueen to life. And this isn't just a simple case of duplicating the same animatronic that can be found over in Radiator Springs Races in Disney's California Adventure, but instead, if you compare the animation of the mouth to that of the animatronic in this new Walt Disney World experience, you can easily see that Imagineering have really perfected this advanced internal projection mapping since 2012. And in addition to this, Lightning McQueen as an animatronic also has quite a range of movement, where he can turn, pivot and bounce as he talks. But obviously, as we reported back in December, this entire Racing Academy is much more than just a Cars version of Turtle Talk with Crush, as instead this environment is meant to replicate the simulator experience that can be seen within Cars 3. As within the 10-minute long show, Lightning McQueen will bestow some of his racing wisdom on you, and is joined by Cruz Ramirez, Tow Mater and a cast of other characters from the Cars movies via animated sequences. Now if I'm being honest, after seeing just how great the Lightning McQueen animatronic is, I'd have really loved to see Disney add Cruz Ramirez and Mater in animatronic form as well, and maybe include some sort of 4DX seating instead of the bench seating that is currently offered. But considering that this attraction was a very quick turnaround for Walt Disney Imagineering after only being announced last summer, it's safe to say that this goes well beyond what was expected, as is often the case with Disney. And don't just take my word for it, go and check out this full show for yourself over on Big Fat Panda's YouTube channel, where I'll leave a link to down below in the description box. And who knows, maybe in the future, depending on the popularity of this attraction, it might even lead to even more Cars experiences coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios. But if you're wondering to yourself, why is it that Disney have only just now decided to add a Cars experience to Disney's Hollywood Studios? Well, that answer is actually remarkably simple, as Disney's Hollywood Studios is going to need all of the extra attraction capacity that it can get once Galaxy's Edge opens on August 29th. And so Disney have decided to take this underutilized flexible space and turn it into a permanent attraction that offers guests so much more to do at the other end of Sunset Boulevard and helps the guest flow around Disney's Hollywood Studios. And that's actually the exact same thing as what we're seeing going on at Disneyland Resort as well, as it was announced this week that Mickey's PhilharMagic would be coming to the former location of where Muppets Vision 3D was within DCA, which is actually called the Sunset Showcase Theatre as well, and it will be in celebration of Mickey's 90th birthday. But the real underlying reason for why Disney are adding this attraction to DCA right now is to add even more capacity capacity to Disney California Adventure, so that when Disneyland Park potentially reaches capacity during the busy summer months, especially this year with the opening of Galaxy's Edge on May 31st, Disney California Adventure will have even more to offer to guests. And the same goes for the completion of Pixar Pier. As we saw with the opening of Jesse's Critter Carousel this past week, and also the upcoming Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind attraction, which is a reimagined ride system from Flix Flyers. But despite all of this about Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy, it wasn't the only attraction to open at a Disney park around the world this weekend. As over in Hong Kong Disneyland, AntMan and the Wasp Nano Battle had its grand opening ceremony with Paul Rudd and Kevin Feige in attendance, with this attraction being part of the ever-growing Marvel presence within Hong Kong Disneyland, as the Marvel-themed superhero universe expansion is slowly progressing toward what is illustrated here in this piece of blue sky concept art. But now let's go back to the attraction, as it takes the location of the former Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, but this time it's a technologically advanced shooter-style ride system, with a mix of physical sets and blended screens to create some really cool effects of Ant-Man and the Wasp shrinking and then shrinking the guests down as well. But what's pretty cool about this attraction is the immersive story building between the Iron Man experience and Nano Battle, as the narrative is taking place simultaneously in the same location, meaning that the attractions within the Marvel lands are connected within the same universe. So it seems that Marvel are taking the idea behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe and bringing it on over to the Disney parks with this type of Marvel attraction universe. But now let's switch on over to some Disney movie news. As on Friday, Dumbo soared into theatres around the world to a respectable $116 million opening weekend worldwide box office. And after seeing it for myself on opening day, here's my mini review of the movie. As first of all, the visuals and the cinematography within the movie is absolutely beautiful, with that classic cinematic fairy tale flair that only Tim Burton can bring to the movies. But what really stood out to me here was how well the original story had been modified and expanded beyond the 67-minute bright and colourful animated classic, which saw Dumbo flying at the very end of the movie. Whereas in this modern retelling, the new characters of the family and the expanded cast within Dreamland really adds new layers of depth to the story and makes it feel almost as if the original 1941 movie was kind of incomplete. And yes, spoiler warning ahead here, as more than likely the baby mine sequence will most likely make you cry, so be prepared for that. But now on to the big question here. And that is, did this new movie eclipse the animated classic? And in my opinion, despite absolutely loving the 1941 version, which is personally one of my favourite Disney movies, I've got to say that it got very close to doing so. And there is really something about these modern era reimagining of these classics, which when executed properly, it's not just adding ultra photorealistic CGI because Disney can, but it's also growing the world and expanding the universe that these stories are contained within. And at the very least, they update them for the next generation to engage with the powerful messages that these movies hold. But I'm going to predict it right now, as I'm now convinced that a modern version of Bambi would work brilliantly with this brand new technologically advanced storytelling. But overall, I would highly recommend going and watching this version of Dumbo, as you won't be disappointed. And lastly for today, just a quick reminder about the new rules that are going to be coming into effect at Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World Resort at the beginning of May, as all Disney parks in America will become smoke-free zones, meaning that there will be no designated smoking locations within the actual Disney parks themselves, but instead Disney will be providing designated areas just outside the entrances of each one of these locations, whether it be a Disney park, water park, or downtown Disney over in Disneyland. And then the next new rule that's going to be enforced on May 1st relates to stroller size, as Disney will not be allowing any strollers which are any larger than 31 inches wide and 52 inches long. And also stroller wagons will also not be permitted. And lastly, loose ice cubes and dry ice is also going to be prohibited from being brought into any Disney park, but it's mainly relating to the use of coolers with loose ice cubes, which can easily become a slipping hazard within the Disney parks. But now it's over to you, Walton, as I would like to know, what would you like to do with the animation courtyard area of Disney's Hollywood Studios to retheme it or reimagine it into a Pixar movie property? And also, what type of attraction or experiences would you offer within that part of Disney's Hollywood Studios, and also the reason why? And And of course, don't forget to put the timestamp for where the hidden Mickey appeared somewhere within this video along with your suggestion or your comment to be in with a chance to win one of these official DSNY Newscast enamel pins. And congratulations to this Waltoneer here for winning this suggestion from a previous video where we were talking all about the Disney Skyliner testing progress that's happening at Disney's Hollywood Studios and around the resorts. And so that's it for today. So go ahead and subscribe down below if you're new to this channel. Hit that notification icon so that you always receive an update when we release videos as a breaking news video like today. And also, if you've enjoyed this video today, give this video a massive thumbs up as it really does help this channel out. And I've been Jack, you've been you, and I'll see you real soon.